Hello the internet, this is Editing Fran. I just want to preface this video by saying that it is genuinely one of the worst planning sessions I've ever done, and I was genuinely considering not posting. However, it is part of my process, and my process is what I'm showing. I'm not showing off the fact that I'm very good at planning, because the fact is that I'm not very good at planning, and I don't think people watch this channel because they think that I'm very good at planning. In watching back the video and doing the editing, I have had some brainwaves and I've thought up some ideas that I think will make the planning process a bit easier for next week. So actually doing the recording and doing the editing and posting it on YouTube is an integral part of my planning system, whether or not I feel like a bit of a tit when I'm doing it. So it might be quite a boring video, but the point of the video isn't to be entertaining. The point of the video is to help me plan, and it has helped me plan, and therefore it has served its purpose. I hope you enjoy it if you watch it, because it would be a shame if you watched it and you weren't enjoying it. But there's nothing I can do about that, so off we go. Hello the internet. It is Sunday night, not Monday morning. I am going to be planning Sunday night instead of Monday morning, because tomorrow morning I am going out quite early, and then the rest of the week gets quite busy quite quickly. So I don't think I'm going to have time to plan on, there we are, found it. I'm not going to have time to plan on Monday morning, and then I'm not going to be able to plan on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then Thursday is Michael's birthday, so I'll be busy, and then basically I just don't want the whole week to get away from me. This is doing something fun. This is melting in a fun way. Right, so as always, I need a pen. As always, I'm going to start my weekly processing system with writing out my fixed appointments for the week and the such. This is burning way too quickly. Is it the wind? Could be. Anyway, I am starting a different way of working because my personal work, let's call it personal brand, which is the sort of the creative freelance work that I do in all of its different forms, because that is beginning to take off. I am readdressing my working relationships with some of my clients, and basically what I'm going to be doing is all of the work that I normally would do for them in a 4-week period, I'm going to cram into a 3-week period, and then I'm going to have a week off at the end, not off work, but a week for me to work on like my personal business stuff, because what I'm finding is that balancing all of the different obligations, I'm not very good at chopping and changing between different tasks very quickly, and balancing all the different obligations is becoming quite hard. So I'm calling them sprints, so they're going to be 3 weeks as a sprint, and then 1 week as a down week, and then back to the next sprint. So it's basically a monthly schedule anyway. And this is really melting fast. Like, it looks very impressive, but that's going to burn out in a minute. Anyway, so I've done some thinking on it, on the sprints, and I have gone sort of the idea of, like, I've done the idea of like what the sprint will look like, and I've got some notes on like what I've put a lot of thought into it, and basically the tagline of the concept of it is maximum structure of expectations with minimum structure of how to achieve them. So the idea is that I'm very clear on what I need to do and by when, and then I just go, as long as I get it done, I don't care. That's it. That's all the structure I need. So I will be looking at that. I'll be looking a little bit at the processing, at the project management systems that I've been using as well. Francis Richter, hello Francis Richter, left a comment in one of my previous videos asking about how I manage the projects, because I talk about the project tasks in the weekly stuff. I didn't fit anything in. I talk about the weekly the managing tasks but I don't talk about the like reviewing of stuff. And actually, if we just come back and review this quickly, I did export that handbook, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically everything that I didn't do on that first block of work that I pushed through on the Monday after I did the planning, basically just didn't get finished. So I think maybe what I need to think about in the next 10 things is going to be the daily level planning of like specifically what I'm going to be doing, and then it'll be top priorities to then be processed. I don't know, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm going to work through the list because that's the easiest thing for me to do. So the first thing that I'm going to do is write out my timetable for the week, with all of my fixed appointments, and then I will take it from there. That candle is going to burn out before I finish doing this, and I don't know why, but I might light another one. Okay, off we go. That's everything. That's everything in the week. Have you seen how fast this has melted? That's amazing. I got distracted by it like twice. Right, so Mum and Mike's timetables are irrelevant because they're already factored into the week. What did I spend last week? I'm actually not going to do that now because it's quite late. It's already like past. It's already 11 o'clock at night on Sunday, and I don't want to waste too much time. So I will leave a space for me to go through and do that later. But for now, I want to crack on and do the rest of the planning. And in fact, I don't think I'm even going to follow this because I will be starting a 3-week sprint this week. So I think I'm just gonna brainstorm the sprint. I'm gonna call it 21/7. I think I'm just gonna try and brainstorm the sprint and see. I'm probably still gonna answer these questions. That's really fun. I don't know why it's done that, but it's very cool, and it's all on the leather surface, and it's all going to ruin the leather. But it's very cool. I don't know how much my head keeps. I've got really dirty hair because I haven't washed my hair today, so I don't know if it's all popped into the video and it looks all disgusting. But you know, it's Sunday night. It's what it is. Okay. How do I structure this new sprint? So right. So it's 3 weeks. I've got 64 hours with FPT, and I've got 24 hours with Pippin. So that leaves me, that leaves me 24 hours left. So I guess I can just go through all the same questions. My planning, it got so nice, it got so aesthetically pleasing, now it's gotten worse. I guess I can just go through the list. So let's go deliveries, deliverables. So just to give, hang on, I'll find it first. Oh, this video is going to take so much editing. It's going to be awful. So just to give an idea of what my project management looks like, I'm building a website with some injury prevention stuff, and basically what I did is I set the different stages of the project, the different categories of the project, and I just made a little Gantt chart, a pretty one, but I just made a little Gantt chart. I try and break it down into the smallest minimum increments. So I've got like, is it planned? Yes or no. Have I started it? Yes or no. Have I written the text? Yes or no. Have I done the illustrations for it? Probably go through and do like 1 or 2 illustrations per page in the time that they're checking, just so they're not completely empty pages. And then I will use the illustrations to become the backgrounds of the social media campaigns that will go along with all the information, as we are like then trying to raise awareness about the function of the website. So this is my entire project management, because it's quite clearly defined in, you know, the tasks that need to be done. The pages are already created because I've like done the structure of the website on the website builder anyway, so it's all there, it just needs filling in. So I've done all of the thinking part, and now this is just mechanical processing. Similarly for the handbook, again, I had, you know, does it have a solid idea for whatever the page is for the handbook that I was working on? So is there an idea, and then is there a solid plan? Because having an idea and having like a breakdown of a plan are for me 2 separate steps. I had sections for waiting for and received for anything that I needed, that I needed other people to send me. Started, finished, checked. So I've done it for export. I'm now waiting for the business owner to read it through and give me feedback. And then if there are edits needed, then will I check this if there are edits needed, or if the edits are done. If there are edits needed, then I will leave it empty, and if there are no edits, then I will fill it in, because then I will look for the boxes that are empty, and then when it's done, I will fill it all in, and then that's ready for exporting. How cool is that? That's actually pretty cool. When it's all done, I will export it, and then it's ready to send off to the printers to be made into proper books. So again, this is like the entirety of that project management here. I know that you can, oh, and I've got like the occasional to do as well, for like ideas that I have along the way, but most of it is already, you know, I've done pages and pages and pages and pages of idea and sort of developing and planning and coming up with ideas and etc. I've come up with lots of that kind of thing, but then once it is solid in my mind as an idea, it just goes into the project management, which is basically just the checklist. One thing that I need to do, so this is the 2026 book I'm setting up, and I've got at the very beginning of what will be the sort of common planner at the back, I've got the checklist for all of the process, and I've got stage 1, 2 and 3. 1 is if I filmed and set up the pages, 2 is if I've edited and exported the video and uploaded it to YouTube, and then 3 is if I've sorted out the title, the description, added it to the correct playlist, and if it's a long form video and it needs a thumbnail, have I done the thumbnail as well? So that only gets ticked off when it's all done. I had a breakdown, no, I did a breakdown, I didn't have a breakdown, I did a breakdown today of the time frames, and basically I need to be finishing 1 month per week during the sprint weeks, and then the down week is time for me to catch up on any editing. So what do I need to do? Quite a lot. Okay, I'm just gonna put some stuff down and then hope for the best. So I wrote down basically a bunch of stuff that I want to do within the sprint. And I've written down stuff. So Tuesday is dedicated to Meg on the timetable. That's gone to Meg. I've got 3 tasks that I would like to do on Monday. I've got to be out the house at about 11 on Monday morning, which in theory gives me 2 hours. If I'm ready by 9, I should be able to get all of that filming done on Monday morning. So then I've done my filming obligations for the week, and then I can just edit throughout the week these videos so they're done, and then once they're done I don't have to worry about them until next week. And then in this window here, sorry kitty, you're in my way. Okay, so in this window here, I can do the email for Sam and Martha, and I can try and finish one of the Pippin pages. I've done most of that page. It's road safety is the page I'm working on. I've done most of it, the content already. I just need to finish it off, and then that means that I'm down to 2 pages. So if I can get that finished, if I can get those pages finished this sprint, then that is really wonderful. I don't really know. I feel like I'm all the way back to the beginning in terms of planning. I feel like I'm all the way back to the beginning, because I basically have taken all of the structure that I've done and all of the progress that I've made, and I've gone, no, I want to do it differently now. I think, having done this, I think what I need to do is to have specific project pages, so like the handbook, but something that's just like a single page split in half, so that I can have just like an ongoing brain dump of all of the tasks, and then I can put like a date of deadline, maybe, if there's any deadlines, or something. Again, I don't know, maybe I should have one sprint page. Should I have one sprint page? Because this is essentially a sprint page, but this shouldn't be a sprint page, this should be the weekly page. So maybe I should have 1 page per sprint, inside of which I write down absolutely everything that I would like to get done within this sprint. I can see if I can estimate some of the time and see how much time all of the stuff would actually take me. Maybe that would be, I mean, there will be some things that are long-term ongoing projects, and like, would I be better doing it by client? Because like the work for Bloomsbury and the work for FPT, they're like small discrete projects, but then there's some ongoing stuff for FPT, and then there'll be ongoing stuff for like Pippin, and I don't really know. I've had a discovery call with an ADHD coach who seems very lovely, so I'm going to be speaking to her on starting at the end of August. I think we're going to start having sessions, and hopefully she's going to help me to just figure out what the planning setup needs to be. I think one thing that I want to do is figure out new trigger lists. If I can figure out a trigger list for this, maybe I need to have a sprint trigger, which is essentially, let's face it, it's essentially like monthly planning, which I haven't done historically. I've only just really got to grips with weekly planning. So I think maybe what I should do for next week is stick to the weekly planning that I've done, that has worked and has been successful, and also try and figure out monthly planning separately. So maybe they're 2 separate functions, maybe they're not the same thing. Anyway, it doesn't feel any less chaotic, but it feels I feel like I have a bit of clarity on the chaos. So overall, terrible planning session, accomplished nothing, very, very useful. All right, I'm going to call it there, because this is already probably going to be a really long video, because I have literally talked for most of it. Hello, darling. Hello. Hi, baby. Okay. I'm calling it there. I'll see you later, the internet.